Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot. This reading is for Tuesday, August 16th or thereabouts. I was thinking about the moon today. The moon moves so quickly, but the moon was conjunct Jupiter, which expands our emotions. The moon is our emotions. Jupiter is expansion. And it's heading for a conjunction with Chiron, the wounded healer. And I found myself today thinking about and talking with someone about childhood wounds. And then I'm reading this book, which is really a good book. It's some people might think it's depressing because it's about death, but it's called The 5 Invitations, and it's the subtitle is Discovering What Death Can Teach Us About Living Fully. And it's a really good book. And I was a little skeptical because I'm in mourning for my husband who passed away 10 months ago. And I was looking for something and someone recommended this, and I'm actually enjoying it. But this is a couple of quotes from the book that are chapter headings here. And I don't know who this person is. Peggy O'Mara. She's not the person who wrote the book. The guy who wrote the book is Frank Ostaseski. That's a tough one. Ostaseski, if you're interested. Ostaseski, Ostaseski. Try saying that after a couple of glasses of wine. Okay, this quote is from someone named Peggy O'Mara. I do not know her, but she said this. I think this is brilliant. The way we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. Wow. That's, that should be kind of common sense, but I never thought of it like that before. So, Mom, get out of my head. And there's another quote from Viktor Frankl, the author who wrote, didn't he write that book? I always get him mixed up. He wrote about the concentration camps. This is turning out to be fun again. He either wrote When Bad Things Happen to Good People, or If You Meet the Buddha on the Road, Kill Him, or both of those books. I did not look that up before. But anyway, this is a nice, I like what he said. He said, what is to give light must endure burning. Okay. So perhaps our owies are, they're there for a reason, and perhaps we can help somebody else because we've been wounded in a certain way. So always a happy thing to start off with on a Monday night. Actually, it's for Tuesday, but I'm doing it late Monday night. And again, I forgot to lay the cards out. I forgot to do two things. One is to lay the cards out in a pattern and look at them first, which I did not do. The second thing is I am going to try to memorize the astrological correspondences to each card, which is going to take some doing because, there are 78 cards? You don't have to memorize all of them because you don't count the major arcana, but that's still a lot of cards. So, okay. So I started with, reaching across here, and most of these are in reverse tonight. So I started with the 7 of Pentacles, which is an extremely solid card. It's something or other in Taurus, I believe. And I've got this thing I found that said that it tells you which numbered cards are cardinal, fixed, or mutable. If you're familiar with astrology, cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and that means they initiate. They start the beginning of a season, and they initiate. They begin something. Fixed signs are Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, and they're exactly as they imply. They're fixed. They don't like to move. They're kind of stubborn. They're in their own energy, and they're going to stay there. And then mutable signs are when the seasons are changing from one to the next, and they include Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. Okay, so this thing I found online was telling me that, certain numbered cards are either cardinal, fixed, or mutable. That helps me a bit. So this came out in reverse. So the 7, which is apparently Taurian energy, which I'm not surprised because 7s are very stable, and so are Pentacles. This is making me feel like very fixed energy. So things that, I'm sorry, my fan is squeaking in the background. I hope you can't hear it. We may feel a little stuck today, just like, kind of like we wish things would move a little bit, and they're not moving. This is very, sevens are usually pretty good. They're pretty positive, but this one feels a bit stuck to me. So you might be feeling a little bit like you wish things would hurry up and change. And then I get another pentacle, and it's also in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles. He's coming in with an offer. You know, he's very slow moving. Look at the horse. He's just like, you know, dun, 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 dun. I'll get there when I get there, okay? And he's in the reverse. So this tells me that we feel even more stuck. That we kind of expected an offer, we kind of expected something to come in, and it's just not moving. And we're like, I thought you said you were going to do this, or bring me this. Where is it? Because the last reading we got was about stepping up to a new level, and we may be thinking, oh great, everything's going to change overnight. Nope, it's not. It's going to move very slowly, because I get another card in reverse. It's the Lovers, which is also known as the Choice. So this can, if you're in a romantic situation, this can actually involve a question you have of a romantic nature, or it can simply be like, what do I want to do with myself? What, you know, I have some choices in front of me and I have no idea what to pick. And so this is even feeling stuck. If you have a choice in front of you, you're not sure. You're just not sure. And again, here's another card in the reverse, and it's the Four of Swords. And let's see what, according to this, would be Libran energy, balance. That makes sense, because the Four of Swords is generally kind of emotional neutral. It's and intellectual neutral, if that makes any sense. So again, it's like feeling stuck in a decision, which way to go. This is not the time to make a major decision right now. It's a time to weigh your options, but since it's in the reverse, it's making me feel like you're not liking where you're at right now. You feel a little bit stuck, and you feel like making a decision, but it's just not the right time. It just isn't. And then, speaking of childhood wounds, we get the Three of Swords, okay? And this is triangulation, so it can be three people, three opinions, but it can also be the past, present, and future, I feel. And you can look at this two ways. Something can be very painful, but it's also kind of a releasing card in some ways, because sometimes it's like I always want to say, people don't talk about boils anymore. Do people even get boils? It's like, you know, when you have a blister or something and it's ready to pop. Well, the swords will pop it, you know. It's a situation that may have occurred in the past, and it's still hurting today. It's coming back again for review. Or it can be, I'm feeling like since we got that with the Lovers, it can also be, I remember the other night I felt like someone wasn't telling us the truth. Unfortunately, this can also be someone cheating. It can be three people in a situation, and where you would prefer there were just two. So, just saying. And again, that's kind of a stuck, you know, Three of Swords. It's kind of, threes are kind of stuck a little bit. And let's see this. Yeah, I already said that. This says Libran energy as well, but it's cardinal, so it's initiating something. I'm not going to look at that. The paper's just messing me up, so I'm going with my intuition. Forget I said that. Okay, Eight of Wands. Here comes a message. Here comes some information. Here comes some movement. Yay. This is like you're sitting outside on a hot day, and here comes a breeze, okay? Here comes the information, some information that we need to make the decision that we want to make. It is coming. It's not here yet, but it's on its way. I'm trying to think, and I was wrong. The other night I said that Mars had moved into Gemini. Mars is still in Taurus, and I believe he moves into Gemini on the 21st. And I'm thinking that that might be a good date. Let's see, what's today? What did I say? It's the night of the 15th, so we'll call it the 16th. So in about 5 days' time, we'll call it a week, you might be getting some information that you've been waiting for, that will possibly help you make a decision about something. And then we get the Nine of Wands, which is generally a good card because it's a homecoming. It's like, I'm almost there, I'm almost there. I've come so far and I'm almost there, but it's in the reverse. So you may be feeling like you're having, excuse me, you may be feeling like you're having to repeat something, or you're like, oh my God, this again? I thought I was almost there, and now something's been thrown up in my path again, and I thought I was over that old hurt or whatever it was, and I'm not. Here it comes again. It's not an endless loop. Well, we'll see what the oracle cards say, but it's a temporary stall. We're temporarily stalled. It's kind of like your car died, but it's just the starter. It's not the whole engine, and it, or maybe the battery's dead, and then give it some time, and it's going to move again because the Eight of Wands are coming in. But right now, I feel like we're kind of just a little bit discouraged today, and feeling kind of like nothing is moving really. But sometimes when you don't feel it on the surface, sometimes things are brewing underneath. Let's see what the oracle tells us. All that glitters. The rest of that sentence, all that glitters is not gold. So this tells me two things. One, what I said the other night is someone may be leading you on. The offer that is coming in may not be as good as it looks. Remember in the old movies where they used to grab a coin and they'd bite it to make sure it was really gold? I always wondered, how did they know? Like, what did it taste, or did it bend? I mean, I wouldn't know. You could hand me any hunk of metal and I wouldn't have no idea. I don't go around biting coins. But anyway, some offer may not be all that it's cracked up to be. And since we got it with the Lovers and the Three of Swords, I'm also feeling like somebody might be feeding you a line here. Remember the other night when I said I didn't think someone was being honest with us? That kind of goes with that too. So be careful. Just be careful about that. If you are involved in a romantic situation right now, I would say watch out. Okay, and this is interesting. We get thinker. Not to be confused with stinker. Never mind. I was going to tell you something that happened today, but it's irrelevant, so never mind. The thinker. So again, this is, we had the Four of Swords, which is, you're kind of stuck at a crossroads, like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know which airs intellect, decisions, thinking. I believe I called it emotional neutral. That's the Four of Cups. I apologize again. This is thinking, not feeling. You might be feeling like you don't know which way to go with a decision. And again, the Lovers is called the choice. So you have, so ponder it some more. You've got more thinking to do about this. And again, with the Eight of Wands coming in, I feel like there's some really necessary, I'm grabbing my new archetype cards, let's give them a whirl. There's some really important information coming in, And you know, since I started this with that quote about our parents' voice being, or what we say to our children becoming their inner voice, don't listen to, if your inner voice is, make sure your inner voice is really you and not your parents. I mean, unless they gave you great advice, but if you're like me, I think most of us had something traumatic in childhood. If not, yay you, because most people, you know, have something. This is interesting. And then we get the cave. Wow, I love this card. It's kind of spooky. There are eyes looking out of the cave. And this is interesting because I started this off with telling you that the moon is coming up to conjunct Chiron. And I don't know if you're familiar with Greek mythology. And Chiron's also in the tarot. He is, God, who is he? Come on, Lori, I think in the mythic tarot, he's the Hierophant. Am I right? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, okay. So Chiron was a centaur who's half man, half horse. And he was a healer and a teacher. He taught healing to the other centaurs. And then he got wounded in the thigh by an arrow shot by Zeus, I think. There are different origin stories. But he becomes the wounded healer because his wound is such that the arrow was poisoned. He cannot heal. And that represents the spot. And there's a spot in everyone that is almost unhealable. But that's the spot that can sometimes be of the greatest value in helping others to heal because you understand them. And so this is telling me to go into your inner darkness and confront the wound. And maybe that's what brings the Eight of Wands. Maybe that's the message that you need to know. This is kind of a deep reading tonight. I think it's about it. On the surface, it looks like feeling stuck. But when I get the Three of Swords and the Lovers, I think there's more here than meets the eye. I don't think it's a huge, I mean, we had a good revelation the other night with the cards. You were going to have a good revelation coming in. And I don't feel like this is going to be like oh my God, I didn't know that. Because remember, we got Apocalypsis the other night, and that was like, oh my God. So this may be a little reverberation of something that you thought about. If it hasn't hit you already, it will. But this just means to go within, sit with your darkness, and see what it has to teach you. Because with the Eight of Wands coming in, I think you're going to get a message. And do I stop when I'm ahead? No, of course not. I feel like a fairy. I mean, I feel like I want a fairy card. Let me rephrase that. Sometimes I feel like a fairy. Sometimes I wish I were a fairy because that sounds awesome. Prick up your ears. Good one. Again, I feel like there's some misinformation floating around. Not only is the Eight of Wands going to bring us some information that we need to help us with our decision making, but also there's an unseen, unfelt current of information below the surface that I just feel is kind of not deceptive exactly, but possibly. Just be on the lookout for, I mean, look at the eyes. That looks like a horse and a rabbit. Their eyes are kind of bulging, and she's like, huh? So, kind of a little warning here about don't make up your mind too quickly, especially if somebody offers you something. There might be a little hidden catch. Read the fine print, okay? Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you so much. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I thank you so much for listening. I wish you blessings and good night. Thank you.